Welcome to Blathering Blatherskites. I am one of your hosts, Ken Doman, or I can be reached at Nintendo79 on most of your social media types of stuff, Twitter and all that. I am joined by my co-host, Robbie Baxter, who is at Fifth Race. That's Fifthrace, if I can speak this morning. Robbie, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Ken. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. It's a new week, and I feel like spring is finally really here. We had some snow last week, but then the weekend is awesome. We got to go outside and got to hunt Easter eggs, and it was a really good weekend. So
yeah, we had a birthday party at my house, and a lot of family came in from out of town, and it was a good weekend.
Yeah. My kids crashed their first party this weekend.
How they do that?
Well, our next door neighbors, they have an infant child who was turning 1-year-old, and we got home and I was getting some stuff out of the car, and they just ran over to their yard. They saw that there was a party going on, and they go check it out. And I look over and I see them like going into the yard. I'm like, oh, great! And they brought like the neighbor girl with them, and just like crashing the party. They took it very well. They were, the kids were actually really nice, and they were, saying happy birthday to the baby and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so it turned out all right, but I was a little embarrassed that they crashed the 1-year-old's party.
I had not quite like that, but my son and all of my kids and I went for a walk. It's probably Friday night, and we were coming up to a pretty decent cross street, and I didn't know my second oldest son had like a piece of mulch in his hand, and there's a car coming, and so he knows to stop, and he stopped, and I was probably 25 yards behind him, and this Jeep comes by, and he just chucks this mulch at it out of the blue and nails it. I mean, proud of his aim and everything, but oh my goodness, I was so mad. So yeah, he realized as soon as he did it that he had done something wrong, and I yelled his name, full middle name and all, so he knew he was in big trouble. But he just started crying. I felt bad, but the Jeep started to slow down, and then they saw all 6'5" of me and kept going, I think. But that's what I like to think, at least.
Right?
But,
yeah, that's what did it. You intimidated them. Like, all right.
Hopefully they didn't. I don't think it hurt the Jeep or anything. I think it probably just was, it probably scared him a little bit, and it probably upset him, I'm sure.
Somebody throwing something at you, driving by.
So like, I don't think do. I don't think he'll do that again. But geez, that was embarrassing too.
Yeah.
Oh, our kids.
Yeah. Their job is to embarrass the parents, I think, and then as they get older, it's our job to embarrass them. I think that's the cycle of life.
It is. And I'm going to be very good at it.
Yeah. I'm working on that. Yeah.
I already embarrassed my 7-year-old. He just can't believe the stuff I do. He'll roll his eyes at me and everything.
Yeah. So I feel like my daughter's not at that point. Like, she still likes me to take her to the bus stop and to hug her and give her a kiss before she leaves, and she wants to wave to me from the bus. So I'm like, yeah, this is good. We're not to that point. I'm not an embarrassment to her yet.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Yeah,
something to hold on to.
Enjoying that while it lasts. Yeah. And she's actually on spring break this week. So
most of our kids were on spring break last week, I think, but at least in my neighborhood, everybody was out and about last week. So this week it's back to the grind.
Okay. Yeah. See, last week it was kind of rough around here. It was like we had some snow on Friday.
The weather has not been good. It was not a good spring break week
No,
I wouldn't think. But it's supposed to be better this week, and feels like spring's finally here.
Yeah, for sure. I've got supposed to mow over the weekend, and I found that we got a new cable service like a couple months ago, and I figured they'd buried the cable, and they hadn't. It's just run across the yard.
Really?
So I had to try to wrangle that.
I
call them, and they're like, yeah, we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. So like, well, in the meantime, trying to not hit this thing. So
I'll try not to mow it over.
Right. It's like, I enjoy having internet. It helps. But yeah, that's about all that's been going on over here, I guess. So have you been watching or listening or reading anything lately?
I'm still catching up on The Expanse,
Yeah.
and still liking it a lot. I'm at the point, I'm like episode 7 or something, where it's starting to slow down a little bit.
Okay.
It had a big, climax in the middle of the season, and now it's
Hmm.
starting to slow down. But I think it's going to ramp back up eventually. Finished The Walking Dead last week. I think we
Oh,
talked a
okay.
little bit about that.
Yeah, we did a little bit, but yeah, now that it's done and had a week to marinate, yeah, I think enjoyed the last episode a little more upon reflection. When I watched it, I felt like I was disappointed, but I guess
Sure.
it wasn't too bad. Although it was I think the lowest rated finale since it's been a show. So we were kind of talking about the ratings fall off, and
Right.
that's definitely uh,
Huh.
been happening. So
Yeah, it was okay for me. I thought things were awfully convenient. And I know you're talking about a show about zombies, so
yeah,
um, but things were awfully convenient at the end, and they just, I don't know. It's just it doesn't feel like people aren't safe anymore. Like Sasha dying was kind of a big deal, I guess, but
yeah,
then again, it wasn't part of the original group, so it
yeah.
didn't really bother me that much, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I did kind of enjoy the flashbacks with Abraham because I really did. I like that character a lot, and
sure.
get
Yeah,
to
those were good.
see him.
Um, yeah. And I got my 3D printer about a week and a half or two ago here, and so I've
Yeah.
been doing stuff here and there. I've excuse me, come up against kind of a difficult piece that doesn't want to print right. I print 3 or 4 copies of it, and it's like a little mini vice thing that you build, and
Oh,
it's like seven or eight pieces, but one of them's just not working right. So
okay.
I might be giving up on that, but
I imagine that has to fit really perfectly for it to work because you have like a threaded part
yeah,
and like
I mean,
yeah,
I could show people, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing that it can actually print the threads of a screw
right.
and the threads inside of like a nut, and it works. Like that works fine.
Hmm.
The issue I'm having is that my print bed isn't very large. It's like 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters, and so I had to scale down the original plans to like
Okay.
70%, and I think it's just the bolt that I have to screw stuff onto is just a little bit too thin.
Hmm.
Um, so I think if it was at 100%, it'd probably work better. But anyway,
Okay.
it's been a lot of fun playing with. The kids have some cool new toys that they like, and I should be getting some more filament uh, Tuesday, I think. I was supposed to
Okay.
come last week, but I got a notification from UPS that my package was on a train that derailed. So I
Oh,
thought, okay,
wow.
I can give you that. That's fine.
Right.
Train
That
derailment, I'm okay with.
that can
You know,
delay things. Yeah.
your system
Okay.
messes up and somebody, doesn't put it on the truck, that might upset me a little bit, I guess. But
Right.
so yeah, and then I've been listening to the Game of Thrones audiobooks for a while now, so
Yeah.
continue
Cool.
to do that. I'm on the fourth book now, so that's good
Yeah.
stuff. What about you?
Let's see. We watched well, new to Netflix, I think last week was the BFGU, the Big Friendly Giant, which is one of Steven Spielberg's latest movies, and
That's not what BFG used to stand for back in
I
my day.
I don't know what you're talking about, Robbie. what what else could that possibly stand for but Big
It was,
Friendly Giant?
it was Doom, right?
Yeah, it was. There was a gun that had that moniker.
Yes.
Uh,
And the
and
first word is big, and the last word is gun.
yeah,
And
I
think
don't know
about think about think
what
about
else could it
an F word you can
be?
put
Yeah.
in between.
Okay. I think we get it. Yeah. But yeah, this movie was fairly kid friendly.
Okay.
My daughter was pretty scared for part of it because they take this girl into the land of giants, and most of the giants like to eat people except for the big friendly one. And
Okay.
and among the giants, the big friendly one is like the runt of them. So the other ones are really big, and it's a neat story, and the CGI is pretty good. I mean, it's not like completely true to life, and they mix in like the live action, like the little girl actress with the CGI stuff, and it's
Mhm.
pretty well done as far as that goes. And yeah, has some little more scary parts for kids, but no, I thought it was a neat story, and it was a pretty fun movie. I think it was kind of long. I don't know the exact running time, but it felt like it was a pretty good length of a movie. So we watched that. I've been watching a couple other shows on Amazon Prime. There's one called Sneaky Pete that is kind of interesting. It's about this con artist. It's played by it's Giovanni Ribisi, and it's got Bryan Cranston in it, and he's also a producer of the show.
Hmm.
So, and I think Howard Shore also producing it. He's big Hollywood producer. So, um, it's an interesting show. This guy basically had this, I don't know, friend or whatever in prison that he found out all about his life and stuff, and then when he gets out, he kind of takes this guy's place and goes back to the old family farm, and they look similar enough that he can kind of pass off as him, as this other guy.
Huh.
And and he knows a lot of details because I mean they were in prison together. He knew a lot of his stories from growing up, a lot of the names of people and things like that. And none of them had seen him in 20 years. So he has that advantage of, last time they saw him, he was basically a kid or like a teenager.
Right.
So, and it's him, trying to take the place of this other guy in this kind of smaller town outside the city. And he's hiding from Bryan Cranston's character. He's like the really bad guy.
Oh,
So I'm only a couple episodes in, but it's been interesting to watch and a pretty good production value on it. And yeah, it's a good show. And apparently, I like watching shows with people named Pete in it because I've also been watching a show called Crashing, which stars Pete Holmes, a comedian, and it's kind of like an autobiographical thing, but like kind of distorted autobiographical,
hmm.
and about him as like a struggling comedian and stuff. And that's on HBO, and yeah, it has the normal trappings of HBO with the language and sexual content and all that kind of stuff. But uh, it's been kind of a funny show. My wife didn't like it too much. She watched the first episode with me, and she's like, "Nope, not for her." So
Yeah.
yeah, well. Also on Netflix, we saw Louis C.K. had his latest special just came out. Uh,
Oh, is it
watch
good?
that. It was okay. Not my favorite Louis C.K. I mean,
Huh.
he opens up just talking about abortion and just I'm like,
Uh,
that's a topic like I don't know. It's hard to make that funny to me.
right.
And he was trying, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Being pretty callous about it, and
Hmm.
yeah, that kind of had me right from the get go. I was a little bit like, uh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be laughing about this, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
uh, looking forward to a show on Netflix this coming week, though. We've got
Right.
Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is a favorite of ours from back in
The
the day.
Return.
Yeah, that's a show that we watched back in high school,
Yeah.
and I know.
I think Israel is he. Did
Yeah,
he introduce us to it?
yep, yeah. Our friend Israel, he I don't know where he found out about. I don't even know where the show aired, like where you actually found it. I know he had some VHS copies of episodes though,
And we
and
rewatched those to.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We only had a handful of them, but we watched the heck out of those things. And yeah, you can watch some of the old ones are on Netflix now. You can go
Okay.
check those out. They have not aged particularly well, but they're still funny. But I mean, you're watching really old movies to begin with. Like
Right.
when these aired, the movies that were in them were really old. And I think the newer series, most of the films, I believe, are like in color. So we're
Okay.
not with as many of the really old black and white, but they're still horrible movies. So we get
Right.
that to look forward to.
Yeah. I
And
mean, maybe explain the premise a little bit. That
yeah,
it's
uh,
this really dumb setup that these people have to watch. These two robots and the main character have to watch really bad movies, and the whole thing is them making fun of the movie the entire time, and it's usually really really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's scripted, but it's meant to feel unscripted, I
Right.
guess, because it's just supposed to be their like off the cuff reactions to stuff in these really, really bad films. And I don't know, something about that is just it's one of my like comfort food types of things. Like it's like that show. Just I think the time in my life when I saw the original. So
Yeah.
I watched a couple with the kids the other day, the old one, and of course they had a hard time getting into it, just the barrier of how old that is and that kind of thing. But
Sure. And
it
and
might,
and I mean, I would say some of the comedy is. I mean, it's not highbrow, but it'd be over
yeah,
a 5-year-old's head, I would think.
yeah. He liked the robots though. The robots
Okay.
were cool to
Yeah.
him. So that he liked the parts with the actors and the little
See, that's
goofy
like the worst part
scenario.
of the whole
It
the
is
whole show.
right.
Like no, like I just want them to watch the movie and make fun of it. I don't want like this backstory of them being on the the spaceship and crap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part he liked. But he's also a big fan of Power Rangers right now, so that's the about the level he's at
Oh.
of his type of entertainment. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
he was enjoying that. Uh,
Another thing I wanted to mention is, have you watched Neil Patrick Harris in a series of unfortunate events on Netflix?
uh, my wife watched it and I started it, and it was really good. What I saw, I think I saw like the first 3 episodes or so.
Okay.
But yeah, very very dark, but at the same time is
Have you
well
ever read
done.
those books or saw the original movie?
Saw the original movie with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay, but I actually like the series better, I think, than the
Oh
film.
yeah. Well, I feel like the series. Well, they have more time to put stuff in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've watched 2 episodes. I think. Yeah, 2 episodes now, and I
Mhm.
think we're liking it for the most part. Patrick Warburton is a
Yeah.
we really like him. He's
Yeah.
always cracks us up. So not that I mean he always plays like a super dry character. It seems like, but he he's pretty funny.
Yeah. He just
He
has a
plays.
distinctive voice. It's like you
Yeah,
always
yeah.
can pick him out. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Lemony Snicket, who is the author of the books, um, and it's just kind of a I don't know how to explain it, but it's just really it's kind of a downer. The whole series is a downer, but you
It
feel
is.
good about it. Like it's
What an
called a series of
oxymoron. Yeah.
unfortunate events. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh
so
yeah, it's
yeah,
horrible. Like the kids, because I saw the first few, their parents die and
right,
their home is burned, and it's like, wow,
and
this
they
is
have to go
horrible.
live with their closest relative, which
Yeah.
somebody
That's
convinces the executor of the will that closest relative means geographically closest.
right. Yeah, that's so
And
weird.
so
Yeah, yeah, that's been an interesting show. I think it did get picked up for another season, I
did it?
believe. So
Okay.
I think we'll see some more of that. Yeah, so get some more lemony snickets. But yeah, I've been my apparently favorite video game, the one that I spend the most time in at least. I've been playing Destiny. It's got its last update. They're not
Okay.
updating the original game anymore. They put a lot of the big multiplayer scenarios called raids are all brought back into relevancy with stuff dropping at the current levels and stuff.
Okay.
So that's been fun. I joined a different clan on PlayStation, and that's been really neat because they use an app called Band, and you can just message each other if you want to go do something or get into a raid. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
that's made it a lot more fun and just accessible. And it's
Is it
like,
a
oh
bigger clan or whatever?
yeah, there are a lot of people in it. I mean, it's probably over 50 people, I think. So
Oh, cool.
that yeah, that helps a lot to have people to play it with, because that's the only way I feel like a lot of parts of that game are fun. I mean, I played plenty of the single player stuff too, but
Sure.
more fun. Uh, and that's also been leading up to the sequel. Destiny 2 was announced just a little while ago, I think a week or two ago,
Hmm.
and they have not shown any of like the game or really said much about what the game is going to be. But they had a couple trailers came out. Those were pretty funny. They featured Nathan Fillion's character
Yeah.
called Cade 6, and I don't know if you saw any of the trailers. I thought they're
I saw
pretty.
one of them where the
Yeah,
two guys are giving like pep talks,
yeah,
and Cade 6 was awful at it. But
yeah, yeah. Right. They're all looking up like, "What are you saying?"
I mean, that was he's one of the best characters in the
Oh,
game. I think people
by
agree
far,
on.
by far, yeah.
So
And he really wasn't featured too much in when the original game came out,
right,
and you didn't know who these characters were. They had parts, and you would go and talk to them, but they had no personality. And now it feels like they're really giving them personalities and
yeah,
developing the story of it a lot more. So I'm excited for that. They announced the release date though. It's coming on September the 8th, so this year. So got that to look forward to. And they are going to release gameplay of it on May 18th. So still got about a month or so, maybe 5 weeks, till we get to see that and see what the thing's actually going to look like. And a beta is coming this summer. So I think around June-ish we'll get to play it. So that's not too
cool.
far away. And you can, of course, pre-order now. If you pre-order it, you get early access to the beta. So,
Oh.
yeah. And it's also coming to PC. That was kind of a big thing. It was not on the PC before. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that. And they don't do any sort of crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox, right?
no, unfortunately not, because I've been playing on both, and that's a big pain because you have totally separate accounts that
Yeah.
makes no sense to me. And they haven't said anything about that in the new game, if they might be able to do something about that. Because
Well, even if they made it so that your characters could stay between all three platforms. I mean, even if you can't play computer versus Xbox,
exactly, yeah, and that's fine because a lot of that, at least on the PvP end of it, would be pretty rough playing against PC players, and
right,
would not be fair or vice versa. Uh,
right.
but collaborative stuff, I think they might be able to do. But you're right. The main thing is just that account, all your stuff.
Yeah. Gosh.
There's kind of a wrench in that though, because Sony pays for exclusive content, and they've been
Gosh.
previously done that. And there was a poster that leaked that said only on PlayStation exclusive content. It didn't say what that content was. So,
Is the content usually like what is it usually? I mean, what has content meant in the past for Destiny?
well, in the original game, it was like 3 weapons, 3 of the highest tier weapons. They're called exotics, and those were, really tough to get, high level weapons, and also a couple of maps in the PvP arenas,
Oh,
and a couple of strikes, which are like collaborative, like shorter collaborative excursions, not like
okay.
on the
So
raid.
actual gameplay stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and a decent chunk of it too.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Well,
and
I can see. I mean, the weapons that would be difficult, right?
yeah. Well, I think you would just
Just
have to lock
disable
them
them.
down. It'd
Yeah, you
say
just have
not
to.
available or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they could do it. They could do it, and that would be, I think, really good for the community and for people that play the
Just a
game.
quality of life change that you can work on one person, one character, or two characters, and not have to.
Yeah,
I mean, you probably have 6 characters, right?
yeah, yeah. Between the couple
Ugh.
platforms, and they have everything saved on their servers too. So it's not
Yeah.
like they would have to be pulling stuff off of people's hard drives or anything. It's all saved on their end. So
Hmm.
it would be nice, you know, Bungie, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Make that little change. I'm sure it's
I'm sure they
easy to
know it.
do.
They
Yeah,
know
they
it,
do. They do.
but
But they haven't
their
said anything
hands
about it.
their
Yeah.
hands may be tied.
Yeah. So that's kind of the big game news that's been going on. Not too much else. I think a new game comes out this week called Yooka-Laylee, which is like a kind of spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, which is a big Nintendo 64 title. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that. There was a
Oh, I remember it. Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie and a Banjo-Tooie. And a lot of people from that original team have been working on this, and it was funded via Kickstarter, and it's out on most of the major platforms. I think even the Nintendo Switch has it.
Oh,
So you
cool.
can, yeah, so Switch, PS4, Xbox, PC, just about everything. And it
Have
looks cool. Yeah.
have you have you had anybody with the Switch yet?
A couple people I work with, but not like in my department. I
Okay.
like in the lunchroom, I'm seeing some people with it, and there's a group that's going to be getting together for a Mario Kart group on at lunchtime. And once that, I think that game comes out this month, the new Mario
Cool.
Kart. So they're going to get together and do Mario Kart over lunch, and I thought that was kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Yeah, I had one person at work that had one, so I got to play it a little bit. But
oh, what did you think? Yeah.
I mean, it was like a really awesome Game Boy, but I don't know.
Right. Okay.
I didn't play. I didn't play like
That's
Zelda
pretty
or
good.
anything.
Oh, really? They didn't have Zelda on it? Okay.
Well, he did have Zelda, but I
Yeah.
mean, to just jump in and play for 5 minutes, I didn't think Zelda was a good
Couldn't
choice.
do
So
much. Right. Well, what game did he have on it? Was it
I
the?
don't remember. It was like a puzzle game.
Okay.
You had to move these squares around and then like chop them to make certain shapes to like
Snipper
get it.
clips. Is that what it was?
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that. So
Okay.
I mean, it was entertaining. It was good. It was a good, kind of make you think kind of game. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you played it with the controllers on the console, just as a
Yes.
handheld?
Yeah. No, actually, no. I played it with the controllers in my hand,
Okay.
and it was sitting on the desk. The actual Switch was sitting
Yeah.
on the desk, and I could see the screen and stuff. So
Okay. I actually saw a third-party accessory for that looks really cool. It's like a dock / case that
okay,
then extends the battery like an extra 10 hours.
has a battery
And
pack included then?
built into this case, yeah, with a battery pack.
Nice.
And it has 2 additional like cartridge ports, so you can have 2 cartridges in it at once, which is kind of a neat little feature. And you're able to plug it in to charge it while it's on its kickstand. And the
Nice.
kickstand is like adjustable at different angles.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest complaints I heard was just trying to charge it while it was standing up. You couldn't do it. You had to build some sort of frame for it.
Right. So
The
this
plugs
company
underneath
has done that, and it looks like they basically like 3D printed, this dock for it that snaps onto it, and it looks pretty neat. So I'll post that to our Facebook page if anybody's interested in that.
Bet I could 3D print that.
You might be able to print it as well. So, but it is pretty neat design though, the way they slapped in some extra battery life and functionality to it.
Yeah, so I can't 3D print battery life, but a pretty sweet
like
stand. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Yep.
Speaking of robots.
Exactly. Yeah. With that going along that theme, we talk about, and also kickstarted kind of like indie projects. There's a lot of these like personal robots out there these days on the internets that companies are trying to market to you, and these are supposed to be like home companion types of robots. And I don't know, have you heard of anything like this or been interested in having a personal robot?
Well, I mean, I think I have 2 Amazon Alexa Echo Dots and I've written a couple Alexa skills. So I think that these other ones are kind of an evolution of that. I mean, Alexa, the Echoes and the Echo Dots like are stationary, and you can ask it questions and do those sorts of things. Same with Google Home, but these are actual moving machines, right? That you can still do similar things with. Like you can ask it questions. I think some of them. But yeah, right now it doesn't seem like they do much though.
That's my problem with it. It's like they sound cool, and that the stuff they can do is almost like surveillance of your home. Like when you're not home, it can be making sure your dog's not digging into your plants, and it can make sure you're not getting robbed, I guess. And as far as like actually doing things, like they can't do any chores around the house or that kind of thing.
Right. I mean, I would pay if somebody builds a laundry folding robot or laundry doing robot. Like, take my money.
The holy grail, man.
Holy cow! Or dishes. Like
like
the dishwasher is great, but I don't know what your dishwasher is like. But I practically have to clean everything without soap before I put it in.
You have to pre-wash them, then you wash them in the dish.
My dishwasher is literally just like sanitization.
Yeah, that's like the sterilization machine because it doesn't. Yeah, I feel like I scrub everything off, put it in there. It it does this thing where it feels like really clean, where you can eat off of it again.
Yeah,
and then you got to put them all back away again.
Right.
So there's still a lot of work involved.
We have some friends that supposedly have this one where they just throw everything in it the way it is, and I don't understand this.
Wow.
But they swear that that's what they do. But I need to like actually see the before and after.
Like
I think and watch the whole process.
Thing that spray it from every angle and
I mean, that's what it should do, right? I mean, a dishwasher should wash dishes. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you're right. These robots, personal assistants, and those sorts of things don't actually do much. Now, I think they can entertain your children to some degree.
And there are some that are like learning robots or like educational robots that I
Right.
think are really cool. There's one in particular I was actually considering getting. It has like two parts to it. Let me see if I can find that. But it actually teaches kids skills like in programming. You can
Okay.
teach it to yeah, let's see. It's called Dash and Dot, and they run about $230. And they have sensors on them, like cameras and I don't know distance. It can tell like what you're, if you're waving at it and stuff like that. But you can use an iPad and set it to like run routes and stuff like that, and
Okay.
to do different things. And it uses like a really primitive type of programming language that kids can understand, but it gives them the kind of concepts of how to like write code.
Okay.
And it's pretty neat because really practical application of that is fun for kids to do and get them into that and to how to program. And it responds to your voice. It can navigate around objects because it can detect where things are at and go around them. And yeah, it can do a decent amount of things. And it looks fun. It's something I've been considering getting for my kids. I think when they're a little bit older, I think might
Right.
need to be just a little older to really appreciate it. But they have some neat projects. Yeah, they recommend ages 6+. So yeah, my daughter's
Okay.
5, so almost to that point. But yeah, the website for them is called makewonder.com. So
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It does look pretty nifty, and you're right. Some of they have like attachments and stuff for it.
yeah.
So you can program it to do different things. Like there's a ball launcher that might be helpful, but
Oh,
like a
sure.
xylophone and like some other little things. Some of them are cute, but some of them like actually look like they would be interesting to use. Like a xylophone, like it can actually program the thing to move its head and hit the notes, so a kid could
Right.
actually write a song with it. That kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yep. Yeah, and there's one called Path, and that's the one where you can program a path that it runs and make different sounds, and it has like challenges of things that it'll have you try to do within the
Mm,
app, and to make it do different things. And it does like algorithm design, command sequences, control flow.
yeah.
So problem solving types of things, and it's all done in games, so kids don't realize they're doing algorithm design, but
Right.
they are. So yeah, I think that one looks pretty neat. I think that's one of my favorite like kid focused ones. uh, yeah, as far as like uh other robots for kids, yeah, I haven't seen any that have impressed me quite as much as that one. A lot of them are just, they're basically just toys. They, there's a BB-8 robot that's remote controlled.
Right.
We actually have one of those. My son got one from my aunt, and he loves playing around with it. But I mean, that's all it does.
Right.
It's just runs around. You try to stop it from going downstairs so it doesn't
Right.
destroy itself. But yeah, that's what a lot of them are. Is just, and see, I remember when we were kids, they had robots back in the 80s that kind of did stuff. I remember I never had one, but I had a friend that had one that had kind of just like glowing eyes, and it was remote controlled, but it had like a little drink holder, like it could bring you a drink, but still somebody had to put it in the holder
Right.
and then send it off. But and
Huh.
then there's the Teddy Ruxpin. You remember that
Teddy
creepy thing?
Ruxpin. Yeah.
Took audio cassettes. You'd stick like in his back, I think, and
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
mouth moved with the words, and
The words he'd read you stories and stuff. Yeah.
it was a creepy thing. Jeez.
Yeah, I've thought about making one of those. Like, I don't know where I'd get a Teddy Ruxpin, but a lot of people are modding those into like using a Raspberry Pi or something, and
Oh,
making it say stuff similar to like an Alexa or something like that. But or Alexa and Echo.
an
So
Echo, right? Yeah. Well, everybody, yeah. Alexa's like what people actually interact with it with. That's your interface. But
right.
yeah, so I feel like we're coming closer to really cool stuff, but we're not there yet. I guess
No.
that's about where. I feel like it is. But if you go on Kickstarter or Indiegogo and just look up my personal robots, there's all kinds of things there. You know, if you're looking to get some kind of robotic thing in your house, that's a way to do it. And usually going to run you a few $100s for most of these projects. And
Yeah.
they can do some kind of neat things, but not quite the level I think that'll be truly useful. It'll
Right.
just be, yeah, because none of these can really have like the interpersonal like companion types of thing. I mean, like Alexa, you can say, Alexa, tell me a joke, and she'll like randomly pick something, but they're
Right.
not really truly conversational, I guess. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, we don't have any data type of robots from the was it the Star Trek android,
Oh,
you know,
right.
crew member. Yeah, that still probably is a couple hundred years away, but well, maybe not that long. We'll see. I think once they do reach the point where they can do stuff like household chores and stuff, I think they'll advance pretty quickly
Right.
because they'll eventually be the robots that you can teach them how to do things. They don't come pre-programmed with stuff, but then you can just show them how to do something, and through their visual sensors, they'll be able to replicate that, and you probably have to tweak it quite a bit. But yeah, when we get to that point, then we'll be really onto something, and
Mm-hmm.
then we won't have to do any work at home. We can just have the robot go mow the grass and do all that stuff, and
There you go.
I don't know what we'll do. Well,
It's funny, like even talking to my grandpa a couple weekends ago, he's starting to realize the automation and those types of things, that's a real threat to jobs. Even it's not immigrants, it's not
no,
whatever, it's automation and robotics really. So
yeah. Oh yeah, I think a lot of they talk about wanting to bring manufacturing back to the United States. I think it's going to come back,
but
but
not for people.
the jobs will not come back because, well, yeah,
Oh,
because it's a logistics thing. It's like, okay, you're selling most of your products here, build them here,
sure.
sell them here, but they'll be built, and most of the factories will run automated with
But
different types
even,
of
I mean,
robots.
even, one of the biggest manufacturers that we know of, Foxconn in China,
Mhm.
they, they've automated a ton. Like they laid
Oh
off
yeah.
tons and tons of workers.
I think they
Um,
had one factory in particular. There's like 1 million people that they
yeah,
let go with because automation.
yeah,
Don't need that many people anymore. I think they still need supervisors and quality control and all that stuff, but
sure.
yeah, there's a lot of things that they're gonna go away. So yeah, the threat of our robotic overlords is coming. I think we've got a few years though. I don't know.
A little bit of time.
Yeah, but it's a fun thing. I've always liked robots. I know my son is very into that kind of stuff, and he did get a toy robot for his birthday from my parents, and it can do some simple things, and yeah, that's kind of still where they're at. But I think for educational types of things, if any of our listeners are interested in that, to check out the some of those robots out there that can actually teach kids things that are relevant, and it's better than I think just playing a video game. This is something more interactive and
Right.
dealing with real world stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I think that one they also has some like ex Google people that have been working on that, and I mean it's got some good pedigree, I guess, of
Right.
people that are working on making that. So and it was successfully funded, and now is just like a normal product. You can go and just and buy one. I don't think they're even back ordered right now, because some of those, like with their manufacturing and stuff. Yeah, see, I think you can buy just the Dash robot for $150, and you get
Okay.
the Dash and the Dot, both of them for 200. And then they have all these different combinations and accessories and all that stuff. So the launcher, yeah. So or a xylophone, you're charging $40 for a xylophone. But yeah, so it's got some neat stuff on it, and it looks like it's compatible with a lot more stuff than it used to be. It used to, I think, just be on iPad. Now you can use a lot of the Galaxy tablets, the Nexus,
Okay.
also the Kindle. A lot of the Kindle tablets will work with it. So yeah, it works with a lot of stuff now. So yeah, very cool. So yeah, if you have a more recent smartphone or tablet, it looks like you're good to go with that.
Oh, cool.
All right, well, enough robot talk. I think we might have to, we're wrapping it up for the week. So if anyone has any other robots they've come across, if there's any really cool ones that we missed, please let us know about them. I'd love to look at that. Send us tweets at @BBlatherskites, or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/BBlatherskites, or our website, www.blatherskites.com. Robbie, did you have anything else for the show this week?
No, I don't think so. I think we're all set.
Okay.
So
All
thanks
right.
everybody for listening.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your robots. All right. We'll catch you next time.